You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Chef Anthony Fisher from the Pittsburgh High School stopping by the studio to show us a delicious alternative to turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. So turkey lovers, just hear him out.
It smells good. Also, what's old is new again as the city of Carthage shows off a vintage fire truck restored to its former glory.
And we do have an alert day for today as we have got a red flag warning in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. We'll talk about the breezy conditions and the fall-like weather coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The city of Carthage's first new fire truck from 1939 now has a new owner and could even make an appearance at the Maple Leaf Festival Parade this weekend. KOAM's Yana Abdullah traveled to Carthage to check out the truck's renovations in progress.
Thanks, Tanya. The vintage fire truck is a 1939 city service ladder truck. It has a lot of detail. The new owner, Steve Burnett, has been working on the truck for almost 2 months now. Back in the day, the truck could do 4 different things once it got to a fire scene. It has a pump, water tank, and ground and aerial ladders on it, one of the reasons why this truck was so valuable for the department. Burnett says one of the interesting things about this project is how many local craftsmen have been helping restoring the truck. Having the fire truck at the parade has a great meaning for the city.
The actual Grand Marshal for the Maple Leaf Parade is our former fire chief that just left last December. So it would be really cool, really special if we get that old truck up and running that he has been down at the old station many years ago.
Jeff Huntley says they will have volleyball team riding on a different ladder truck this year. The Maple Leaf Parade is a Saturday at 9 a.m. in Carthage.
That's a really cool truck. I hope they get it done in time, Yana. And just a reminder, KOAM will also be in the parade. It starts at 9 a.m. in Carthage. Thank you so much. The 24th annual Tar Creek Conference gets underway in Miami. The conference has taken place since 1998 in an effort to bring awareness to the impact toxic mining waste has had on the area. The conference offers a chance for a partnership between the Quapaw Nation, the EPA, and the Oklahoma community to address the issues and find solutions beneficial for everyone involved.
There's a lot of good synergy behind all the work the tribe's doing, the state of Oklahoma, the EPA, and then the communities. You know, their efforts and their bringing those concerns to the table so they can be addressed.
The conference will conclude today at NEO College in Miami. Well, the Biden administration releases a sneak preview of its student debt relief application. One section is for basic borrower information such as name and phone number, and the other section prompts the borrower to assert eligibility. About 95% of Americans with student debt could qualify for up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness. The application is expected to go live later this month in both English and Spanish. Missouri Southern hosted an internship expo on Wednesday. It was a chance for businesses and organizations to meet with students and alumni who might be looking for professional experiences. Officials say internships have been a great way to help students develop the skills they need for a career.
At IoT Shaman specifically, we tailor our internships specifically for the interns, so they get out of it what they want. We start off by asking them what their career goals are, and then we go from there and build a custom curriculum for them to allow them to get experience in that while having experts kind of help them along the way.
Expo took place on the 3rd floor of the Billingsley Student Center. Well, the neon is back on and just in time for this year's Maple Leaf Festival weekend. Back in September, the Boots Court Motel gave KOAM a sneak peek at the historic motel's most recent renovations. Owners had hoped to have renovations complete for the Maple Leaf Festival. As you can see from this video, the Vintage Motel in Carthage turned on the neon lights to attract visitors and just to turn some heads. You'll also notice the no vacancy sign is on, so check room availability before you book a stay. It's opened in 1939. The Boots Court Motel actually began life as a gas station. Have you ever been to that motel, Chris?
I've not been in it, but I mean, Amber's from Carthage, so I've seen it 1,000 times over the last 20 years, but I've never actually been in it.
I'm excited that they're revamping it.
Oh yeah, and
That's
it looks
so cool.
it looks beautiful with the neon all turned on. So absolutely amazing at work out there with the Boots Motel. Now the Boots Court.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep, got to remember
Aye.
Boots Court. So we have a
Hello.
little weather trivia for you today. On this date, back in 1982, Denver experienced 6 inches of wet early season snow, and because it was wet snow, caused extensive power outages as tree limbs broke under the weight of that snow. So even though it was only 6 inches, the type of snow can't make a difference. Now for us today, we have an alert day today. Red flag warning in effect until 8 o'clock tonight because it is going to be very breezy. We're looking at future gusts anywhere from 30 to maybe even 35 miles an hour later today, so absolutely no outdoor burning whatsoever. Right now, we've got pretty cloudy skies in Joplin. As the sun peeks out, we can see there's quite a bit of cloud cover. The wind is calm for the time being, 48 degrees in Joplin. We got good temperatures across the area, though, 51 Yates Center, 50 Columbus, 48 in Neosho, and 46 in Carthage. Live look at the MoDOT camera looking east on I-44 from Range Line. Traffic picking up, but still flowing. A green light weather-wise for your morning commute. Well, mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 40s. But we are throwing up the yellow light for your drive home because even though it's going to be mostly clear, those gusty winds could make driving a high-profile vehicle difficult, so do make sure you're prepared for that. Going through today, we will reach a high of 69 degrees under mostly clear skies, so aside from the wind, a perfect fall day. Going into tonight, we drop back down to a low of 47 under mostly clear skies, and a quick check of the 7-day. 81 tomorrow, 77 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday, mostly cloudy, maybe a stray shower on Saturday, but I think most of us are dry, and then we settle into a fall-like pattern for the first part of next week. In fact, take a look at Tuesday, 58 degrees. Well, we have got Chef Anthony coming up next in the Chef Anthony Test Kitchen, and we're going to tell you about the health benefits of a Mediterranean diet, but how does it protect against dementia, or does it at all? We've got the answer when we return. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Welcome back. As you know, Thanksgiving is just a little over a month away, but with the help of Chef Anthony, you can start planning early, and you know what? You don't have to do a turkey this year.
No, there's all sorts of alternatives that you can do. Like this morning we're doing a pork roulade. Last week we did a beef roast. It just all depends on what you'd like to do. Now this particular one is the one we started earlier. It's stuffed with cheese, fire roasted red peppers, and some bird's eye peppers for a little bit of kick to them. And then we finished our tie all the way up, and as you can see, it's a nice uniform shape, and everything is set up ready to go. We've tied up the ends. We're good. Now let's start seasoning. So what we have is, I always like to use my favorite seasoning blends, and this is Kinder's, and I'm going to give it a little bit.
Oh, guess what? It has the word jalapeno in it.
Of
Smoked
course.
onion jalapeno.
Of course. Would you expect anything less from me?
No, not at all.
And then this one is one of my new favorites.
What do we have here?
By Tones.
Maple garlic. Oh, perfect for fall.
The kids have gone through 3 bottles of this already in the last month, and they just keep going through more. They absolutely just enjoy it. So we're going to put a little bit on there. And you could season this on the inside before you do it. I don't, because I don't want to overpower it. So, and if you want to go a step further when you do this and create something just a little bit different, you can use mustard as a binder.
Okay.
And just apply it on there liberally. Whoop. You know, it would help if I opened it all the way up.
Brand new container. Hey, and I want to mention this pork loin came from Simon Market.
Yes, the pork loin came from Simon Market, and I was going to do spinach inside of it from Martinez, but I never made it over to pick up my spinach. But you can do like spinach with mozzarella cheese and tomatoes, or basil and mozzarella cheese and tomatoes, anything you want. You can stuff it with cornbread stuffing and diced apples.
So you're just using a basic Dijon mustard?
Yes, just a basic Dijon mustard, and if you want, you can use yellow mustard. I personally prefer the Dijon when I do this, but I'm just coating it right on top.
What does the mustard do with the pork?
I'm going to show you right now.
Okay.
We're going to take some brown sugar.
I mean, like flavoring-wise. Like
Flavoring-wise,
it
adds a little bit of acidity to it, and pork needs that little bit of acidity to help make it just that much better. But mustard particularly, a lot of people say, well, you can do it with mayonnaise or butter. It doesn't come out the same.
See, I've always been traditional and done like the fruity things, mixing like fruits with pork and stuff, but like we're not doing any fruits today. These are vegetables.
These are all vegetables.
And cheese and mustard and now sugar.
cake
gotta have
the
the
top
sugar.
of it with brown sugar.
Okay, caking it.
Yes.
This is no longer healthy.
Because the brown sugar is going to seep its flavors in, and then as you cut it, the brown sugar is going to flake off, and
Oh
it
my
adds this
goodness.
nice little beautiful crispy crust on the outside of your pork, and it's just wonderful.
This
Now,
is-
the one that we're
I'm super
going to
excited about this
try
part.
here in a few minutes does not have the brown sugar because I didn't want to overload you on sugar this morning.
Oh,
You still have work to do, and they don't need to be.
but you know I function on very little sleep, so, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm jealous of this one. I'm sure the other one's good too, though.
Oh, it's going to be really good. But see, just crust it right on. And don't be afraid of the brown sugar.
And you don't wrap it or anything like that.
No.
It goes straight in the
Straight into your
the
oven,
like that.
350 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour. You want to make sure the internal temperature cooks to at least 165 because you have it stuffed. If you use stuffing, if you use cheese and stuff like we've used this time, 145 will work for you. You want to make sure that all the layers of the pork have cooked all the way through.
Yes, you don't want raw meat next to the veggies and stuff.
But just like that, put it onto your rack and send it into the oven, and away you go.
All right, 350 for about how long it usually takes?
45 minutes to an hour, sometimes a little bit longer.
Just watch that
depending upon-
temperature.
Watch that temperature on the inside. Make sure you have a really good digital thermometer. Some of the best digital thermometers I buy are about $16, but I buy them from our friends over at Allied Restaurant Supply over in Joplin, just because I can rely on them to be accurate. You don't have to calibrate them near as often as some of the other ones that you find.
Well, and by the magic of TV, when we come back after the break, you will have a finished roast.
Yes.
I'm excited for that. We'll be right back. All right, since we have Yana Hatula joining us on the morning show now, we decided to invite her in to try our Thanksgiving pork roulade. But Yana is from Finland, and they do not celebrate Thanksgiving there.
No, they don't. But my favorite patisseries come from that whole area up there, the Nordic chefs. They do by far the most beautiful desserts and pastries I have ever seen in my life.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I have not tried them yet, but Yana apparently is known for her cinnamon rolls. So if we do some segment with cinnamon rolls, we're going to bring her with us.
We can arrange that. We can definitely arrange that. So what I have now is our finished roulade, and you can see it looks beautiful. It has a really nice crust to it. And if I run my knife across it, you can actually hear how beautiful that crust formed on it.
Okay.
And the
then
color
this
is
one,
absolutely
you
gorgeous.
decided not. Did you put the mustard on it?
No, I didn't add the mustard or the brown sugar to this one, specifically because I'm trying a new spice blend with it. I wanted to try a little bit different, but I wanted to showcase what you could do with it. Some people really like that extra crust that you get with and sweetness that you get from the brown sugar. For this particular one, I decided not to do that.
What spices did you put on this
I
one?
used the same seasoning
Same
blends,
seasonings.
but on the end, I did a little bit different seasoning on the inside. I did one strip on the inside, so I had just a little bit inside of it.
Okay.
And a little salt and pepper.
But it has the cheese and the peppers on the inside as well?
Cheese, peppers. Other than that, it's made exactly the same. So
You're
I'm gonna,
allergic to those, are you?
No, I'm
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna cut my strings. See, the only downside to this is if you put the brown sugar crust on this, the strings are a little harder to find.
I bet. A little messier.
Yes, just a little bit messier. And once you get your strings pulled away,
You're right about, like, it makes it to where you've got portions already cut.
Exactly.
Cut it down the middle and cut it down the sides.
and we'll just pull our strings back like so on both sides.
Now, when you serve something like this, do you want to serve it with the strings and cut it at the table or cut it ahead of time?
If you're doing a dinner party, if it's like family, I would cut it at the table. If you're doing a really, really fancy dinner party, then I would do it beforehand. So that you lay it out and have the strings laid open on the platter so everybody can see it. But make sure that your strings are completely free on the underside so you don't serve somebody a big old piece of string.
Yeah, I would
So-
want to chop into one of those.
Oh, yes. And then we're going to just cut right into it.
Oh, wow. That looks good.
Yes, it does. All right, look how it looks super tender too.
Yeah.
We can probably both. Here, have some so you can get some insides too.
There you go. Try that, and it might help just a little bit.
Here, let me cut you a piece, Jonah.
Thank you.
This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm trying to impress somebody because it takes a little bit of skill, a little bit of practice, and a little bit of imagination to come up with something really good. But everybody pretty much loves caprese, so that's mozzarella, basil, and tomato. So you can do the mozzarella, the basil, tomato, and put it right into the caprese salad right inside of it. Little drizzle of balsamic over the top of it would exemplify that. Add you a little bit more last-minute acid to it.
That's really good. I love the cheese mixture with the peppers on the inside too.
It's not too much, it's not over the top, but it gives you a little bit of color. It looks great on a plate. And then with all the spirals, somebody just looks, you did this at home? But you can buy this done by a butcher if you wanted to. But now you can do it at home. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, just a little bit of practice, and slow and steady wins the race on this one.
And if you want to watch it from start to finish, check out all 3 segments on our website later this morning at KOAMnewsnow.com. And if you want a step-by-step instructional on how to truss a roast, just go to our last segment. And it also is on our morning page as well.
So I hope you guys have fun and happy eating.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very
Thank you
welcome.
so much. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. We will be right back.
In Health Watch this morning, the CDC has expanded the use of bivalent COVID-19 booster shots for younger children. That after the FDA authorized use for Moderna boosters for children as young as 6, and for the Pfizer boosters, kids as young as age 5. Boosters combine a component from the original vaccine with components that target the Omicron subvariants. Paxlovid is prescribed to treat COVID-19 symptoms, but there is concern the medication can negatively interact with some commonly used cardiovascular drugs. A review paper in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology says Paxlovid can have significant interactions with certain statins as well as medications used to treat abnormal heart rhythms. And a Mediterranean diet filled with large amounts of fruits and vegetables does not appear to reduce a person's risk of developing dementia. In the study, in the journal Neurology, that looked at more than 28,000 participants over a 20-year period and could not find a link. All right. Whoa. I remember, folks, I have to stand on a box, so I'm a little taller, and I just fell off of it. We do have an alert day in effect for us today, and that is because we have a red flag warning until 8 o'clock tonight for the entire viewing area. So absolutely no burning, folks. Don't do any outdoor burning, any outdoor fires, anything like that, because sustained winds today will be 15 to 20, and then we're talking gusts 29, 30 miles an hour, possibly even pushing 35 at some points, so do play it safe. In Joplin right now, we've got these cloudy skies, partly cloudy skies, and a beautiful sunrise. Just take a second and look at that. All right, we've taken our second to look at that. It's beautiful. 48 in Joplin right now. The wind is calm again for the time being. The other part of this is, I want to back up to that real quick, so I want to show you. Dew point 37. Humidity right now is up at 66%, but it's going to plummet to say 15 to 25% later in the day. Now, temperatures across the area: 52 Fredonia, 48 Parsons, 46 Carthage, 43 in Neosho and Monette as we start the day. And as we go through the rest of today, we will reach a high of 69 degrees under mostly clear skies, so absolutely gorgeous weather, just a little bit on the breezy side. Winds will subside later tonight. We'll be 52 at 11, 50 by 2 a.m., hitting an overnight low of a cool to 47 degrees by 6 a.m. under mostly clear skies. A look at the weekend. We're mostly cloudy both Saturday and Sunday. 77 Saturday and then much cooler Sunday at 70. There's a chance of a stray shower or two on Saturday, but I think most of us are going to stay dry, and we'll talk about that in the future track. And then there's a bigger cool down on the way, albeit brief, next week. So the future track, as we pause it Saturday late night, you can see there's a storm system right to our south. Most of this activity, if not the majority of this activity, is going to remain to our south. However, it's close enough that some of our southern counties may get a stray sprinkle or two on Saturday night, but otherwise the majority of us are going to remain dry. And then after that system moves out, we stay clear and we stay dry for quite some time. The sun rising, did so about 2 minutes ago officially, and will set at 6:44 tonight. Now look at the 7-day forecast. 81 tomorrow. Believe it or not, we will heat up. We get through the weekend, and we have that cool down. 63 Monday, 58 Tuesday, 63 on Wednesday. And Tuesday, boy, look at that, 58. Overnight lows Monday and Tuesday of 37. But after we get through Wednesday is when we see a change again, and this is what I'm talking about. We start to warm right back up. We're 75 Thursday, 79 next Friday, and 81 by next Saturday. And as you can see, though, we stay dry. We don't have hardly a shower chance in sight for the next several days, which is not good. Despite the rain we got yesterday, the ground being so dry, it's already all absorbed. And that's why we have the red flag warning for the burning conditions, because despite the rain, the ground is still very dry out there. So do take it easy and be careful. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. The city of Carthage's first new fire truck from 1939 now has a new owner and could even make an appearance at the Maple Leaf Festival Parade this weekend. KOAM's Yana Abdullah traveled to Carthage to check out the truck's renovations in progress.
Thanks, Tanya. The vintage truck is a 1939 service ladder truck. It has a lot of detail. The new owner, Steve Burnett, has been working on the truck for almost 2 months now. Back in the day, the fire truck could do 4 different things once it got to a fire scene. It has a pump, water tank, and ground and aerial ladders on it, one of the reasons why this truck was so valuable for the department. Burnett says one of the interesting things about this project is how many local craftsmen have been helping restoring the truck.
The top of this valve was lost. There were 4 of them and they were lost. They were able to craft them at the local foundry in Monette, take them down to Purdy and have them fixed, and then the other parts we've had powder coated at Super C, and then of course the C&B was able to do all the body work on this.
If it gets ready on time, the former chief, who is also the Grand Marshal, will be riding the vintage truck in the Maple Leaf Parade. The Maple Leaf Parade is Saturday at 9 a.m. in Carthage.
That's a really cool truck. Thanks, Yana. Of course, KOAM will also be in the parade, and like she said, it starts at 9 a.m. in Carthage. Missouri Southern partnered with Active Minds to send silence packing in the Oval. Active Minds is a suicide prevention nonprofit working to change the culture around mental health. KOAM's Shagun Bamadali has more.
The Send Silence packing display features stories of those who are affected by suicide. These stories are attached to the backpacks that are laid down across the lawn and hallway for students to read.
I think by showing how common suicide actually is among students, I think that will help bring awareness and hopefully help lower the suicide rates of students in college and on MSSU's campus.
Since 2019, Missouri has had 5 times more suicide deaths per year than alcohol-related or automobile accidents.
I think it's important because mental health can kind of really be overlooked sometimes. College is hard, school is hard, high school is hard. It's all just very hard, and you don't realize what goes into it mentally until you're at a point where you're so mentally drained from all the schoolwork and trying to work a job on top of it all.
All of these backpacks that belong to students, they seem to be somewhere on my age or somewhere around that area, and this area of time is very, very difficult, both being in school and adjusting to life and being an adult, which is very difficult, very hard.
A mental health advocate tells me what he hopes this presentation will do.
A display like this starts conversations, starts to change the conversation, change the culture around people talking about mental health and suicide. And we're really trying to get rid of some of the stigma that sort of prevents people from talking about mental health and suicide.
In Joplin, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
Well, if you are in crisis or thinking about suicide, you can text BRAVE to 741-741. You can also call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 811. This morning, we are discussing the trial of Alex Jones.
A Connecticut jury ordered Alex Jones to pay some of the victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting nearly $1 billion.
Jones, the host of InfoWars, began claiming the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax almost immediately after it happened.
Families of the victims testified that his followers threatened and harassed them online and in person. In August, Jones was ordered to pay $49 million after a similar case and has another case pending. And that brings us to our question for you today. Should Alex Jones be held liable for his words? So far, 80% of you say yes, 20% of you say no. Make sure you vote through our website, the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. We have a red flag warning for today. So we have an alert day today. The red flag warning continues through 8 o'clock tonight, and here's why. We're going to have sustained winds from the west at about 15 to 20, which is gusty enough, but we're looking at wind gusts pushing up to 30, maybe even 35 miles an hour in some cases, so absolutely no outdoor burning. Take a look at this sunrise, 7th and range line. We got some clouds out there, but otherwise a beautiful day. Calm wind for now, 48 in Joplin. Temperatures across the area looking pretty good too. 52 for Donia, 50 Columbus, 48 Miami, and 43 in Neosho. As we go through the rest of today, it will be, of course, windy, but we're going to be mostly clear with a temperature of about 69. So a beautiful fall day, and the wind will calm down late tonight, and then we'll be stuck with mostly clear skies. Not stuck with, we'll be left with mostly clear skies again. 47 for the overnight low, and as we take a look ahead to the weekend, mostly cloudy both days, 77 Saturday, 70 on Sunday. There's the slight chance of a stray shower to Saturday, but I think most of us are going to remain dry. And then we've got a cool down, albeit brief, on the way. So let's take a look at the future track first. And when we pause it late Saturday, you can see there's a storm system to our south. The majority of any storm activity is going to remain to our south, but it gets close enough that some of our southern counties may get a stray shower to late Saturday evening, but otherwise, again, the majority of us remain dry. And then that system eventually kicks on out of here, and we're left with clear conditions for several days. So Saturday, the stray shower is our best chance of rain for a while, which we can see on the 7-day forecast. We warm up to 81 tomorrow, 77 on Saturday, 70 on Sunday, and then the fall-like pattern, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 63, 58, and 63 again. Look at Monday and Tuesday's overnight lows of 37, but I did say that this cool down is brief, and that's because on the 10-day, we turn around and start to warm right back up until we reach the lower 80s by next weekend, and still dry and clear. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News, including another interview with our friends at the Cadaver Zone right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Last Friday, we had these guys on, and man, you guys did a fantastic job, by the way. We got to scare Tanya.
We did.
She didn't know what to do exactly when that whole situation developed, and of course, Harley, the actor we had here, did a phenomenal job as well. So today, we've got another person with us. Who's this?
This is Bear. Bear is, Bear has some issues. As you can see,
I can see this.
But she's figured out how to get out of the straitjacket, so we got a problem.
That is a bit of a problem, just a wee bit of a problem. So, and that's a little bit about what we're talking about today. I don't know why I carry this, because if I don't, I will lose it. What does it take to be scary?
Well, it's actually fairly simple. The way we kind of set it up, if you look at our spook house and look at each of the different attractions, generally when the guests come in, there's something in the room that distracts them and gets them looking or focusing over here. Well, and then how you scare somebody is you distract them and get them looking over here, and then come from somewhere else and do something that they don't expect. It's pretty straightforward.
I was going to say, it sounds simple, but is it really as simple as it sounds? I mean, what does it take to get that scare factor?
Well, when you've done it for a while, and we spend a lot of time coaching and teaching our actors how to do that, how to be very effective at it. One of the things that we're very, very fortunate at, most of the people that come through our spook house are really, the comments they make is that our actors are so on point with what they do. But we spend a lot of time focusing on training them how to operate a room. You know, for example, we'll design a room and say it's just going to be a bathroom. Well, we have a certain method or idea of how they're going to scare in that room, and so we'll take an hour and teach them how we think that's going to work. Sometimes we're wrong and it doesn't work, and hence the next year we may eliminate that room, but we always go in with an idea. And
that makes me wonder, could we scare somebody again this morning?
Oh yeah.
I think, now everybody at home, just bear with me. So you all know that Yana is new to our morning show. Bear, I want you to hide behind this chair. Everybody at home, give me just a second. Keep telling us about the Cadaver Zone when you're open, and I will come right back. Don't go anywhere.
Well, at the Cadaver Zone this weekend, we open Friday night at 7 o'clock and Saturday night at 7 o'clock. And we're also, this weekend, we're going to have a very unique thing going on. We're partnering with the Jasper High School and going to have a fundraiser, a car smash for the senior class at Jasper High School for their project graduation. So, you know, if you're interested in supporting the Jasper High School, you might come out and participate in that with them. So, you know, we do try to support local entities, whether it's schools or you know.
I think we did our job.
I think we got her.
So, and this is just, and see, we don't have any cool special rooms here, but we invited Yana down and had bear scare, and I think it worked. Yana, that scare you?
Yeah, I don't like white faces.
Oh, well.
Yes, all that,
Oh,
yeah.
see? All right, see, that's perfect. So this is, and the thing is, that's just one small sample
Yeah.
of what goes on at the Cadaver Zone.
Exactly.
So I missed some of it. Have you talked about when you're open and when people can come visit you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, excellent,
And
excellent.
also, just so you know too, one of the things that we're doing this weekend is we're partnering with the Jasper High School that I mentioned for a car smash for a fundraiser for the senior class this year.
All right, so there's a little bit more of a little more excitement out
Yeah,
there. so-
exactly.
Well, remember, folks, you can find all the information on the Cadaver Zone, and remember, just because he's told you how they scare doesn't mean that you're going to know exactly how or where they're going to be, because Yana certainly didn't know. And she works here every day and had no idea there was something scary waiting for her in the studio. So make sure you check them out. We'll have all this information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Jazz, thanks so much for stopping by again. And we're going to see you again next week, aren't we?
Yep, you are.
All right.
We have something special planned for that too.
All right. We will see you next week, and we'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Google has approved the app for former President Trump's social media platform for the Google Play Store. Truth Social will now be downloadable to Android smartphones through Google's proprietary app store. This follows the social media platform's implementation of stronger content moderation policies. Specifically, Google has insisted on policies that sufficiently address incitement and threats of violence. The search giant had also said social media apps on the Google Play Store must provide an in-app system for reporting objectionable content. Truth Social was already available to some Android devices through non-Google sources like the Samsung Galaxy Store. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' controversial decision to fly migrants to Martha's Vineyard is under investigation by the Treasury Department. Massachusetts Senator Edward Markey says Treasury's Inspector General has informed him an audit is planned to review if public funds were improperly used. It was previously reported that the flights carrying 48 migrants from San Antonio may have exceeded the scope of state recovery funds. Senator Markey says the money Governor DeSantis used was intended for COVID relief for Floridians, not for transporting undocumented individuals. The Treasury Department's Inspector General says it will review the legality of the flights and decide what further action may be taken. We'll be right back after these messages. It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Private First Class Paul Cook. St. Paul, Kansas native served in the South Pacific from 1942 to 1945 as part of the 7th Army 165th Infantry. To Private First Class Paul Cook, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis wraps up her 40-plus years in the I can't believe it's been that long.
I know, right?
But the 40-plus years in the Halloween film franchise this weekend.
Rick Damigella talked with Curtis about what her Halloween role means to her.
I was certain that I saw him watching me.
No matter what happens in the climax of Halloween Ends, Jamie Lee Curtis is certain of the significance of her performance.
But this time, something feels different.
The miracle is that her legacy is now mine. And it is cemented, it is tattooed on me. I don't have tattoos, but Laurie Strode, Strode strong all day long would be a really good tattoo for me. Because no matter what, Halloween actress dies. I'm dead, Halloween actress dies. Laurie Strode is Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is Laurie Strode. We are bound, we are woven together at this point. She was a character back in 1978. Now she and I are one and the same, and I get her legacy.
Curtis is joined in the film by her 1978 Halloween co-star, Kyle Richards.
Jamie and I would be sitting on set at 3 o'clock in the morning, freezing, bundled up next to each other, and she'd say, can you believe that we're here all of these years later? Together, making these same movies, playing these characters.
The story and Curtis's character may even defy fans' expectations.
There's a moment where Laurie smiles. She smiles. Laurie Strode smiled in a movie. That tells you where we are emotionally. And then, of course, the ceiling comes crashing down on her a second later.
He killed my daughter, but tonight I will kill him. Come and get me.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Have you watched all the Halloween?
I have
You watched
not.
the one previous to this one, though, right?
We tried to get through it. I'm going to be honest, it was a little too gory for our liking, because Amber's a huge horror fan, and she's watched the Halloweens up to now, but that one was just a bit too gory. I mean, it started right off the top, and I'm not really in for the gore. We're in for the scare more than anything else, but that's just us. That's just us. I mean, I thought it was a good story. I just needed a few less people, inverted anatomically in the movie, and that would have made it even better.
And I'm assuming that the same themes will come through in this one.
I'm
not sure.
I'm imagining so. I'm a little hesitant on whether or not we should go to the theaters to see this one or wait for it to come out and
We'll have to look
check
into
it out
that
then.
and see how gory this one is. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, it was a good storyline. I liked the storyline. Just a few less, splayed out bodies would have been great.
Hard to believe, 4 decades of Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. Wow.
That's the incredible part, is how long it's been going on. I mean, so you get to that.
This is one of the original Halloween horror movies. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, and you get to that point too in life where, for me, the 90s will always have been just a few years ago. The 80s were 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Because
10 years ago.
That's why you're reaching that point in life where the 80s were always just 10 years ago, and so the 90s weren't that long ago. So that means, from our perspective, Halloween really didn't come out all that long ago, so it's kind of crazy. It's been 40 years.
Crazy.
Yeah, indeed. Real quick check of your forecast. We're going to be mostly clear today, very breezy. We have an alert day for a red flag warning that goes until 8 o'clock tonight. Will be 69 for the high, so please, absolutely no outdoor burning activity of any kind. Now, the winds will calm down later tonight. It will cool back to a low of 47 under mostly clear skies across the area. And a quick check of the 7-day forecast for you. We're going to warm up, believe it or not, to 81 tomorrow, 77 Saturday, maybe a stray shower or two, most of us dry, 70 on Sunday, mostly cloudy both days for sure. And then we get a fall-like pattern Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tuesday only 58, but I look at the 10-day and you can see where we have a return to warmth as we head into the next weekend, and temperatures looking like the lower 80s. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The House Select Committee investigating January 6th returns for another hearing today. It's first since July. The committee is expected to present Secret Service documents it subpoenaed following a report that agency text messages from the day of the insurrection were deleted. The panel is planning to release an interim report in the next few weeks. And a Connecticut jury ordered Alex Jones to pay nearly $1 billion to some of the victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. A lawyer for Jones says he plans to appeal the decision. Over the past decade, Jones claimed the massacre was a hoax and the victims' families were actors. It's unclear if Jones can pay the full amount. He was also ordered to pay $49 million in another case and faces a third lawsuit later this year. And Martinez resigned from the Los Angeles City Council on Wednesday after audio of a racist conversation with several other council members was leaked. Martinez stepped down as president of the City Council on Monday when the audio first went public. Local activists and community members are still pressuring the other 2 members to resign their positions as well.
We have an alert day for today for a red flag warning through 8 o'clock. We're looking at gusts pushing possibly 35 miles an hour, so please, absolutely no outdoor burning. Otherwise, pardon me, Chef Anthony's lunch was just really good, and I apologize. Mostly clear, 69 as we go through today. Breezy. Winds calm down tonight. We'll drop back down to 47 for an overnight low under mostly clear skies. Warming up to 81 come tomorrow. Cloudy through the weekend, then cooling down to a fall-like weather for the first half of next week. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.